I am often asked in my work what distinguishes people. And I would say that part of what characterizes a person is their personality styles or the personality style. What does that mean? Every person has their own way, solutions for themselves, how they make decisions, how they interact with others, and how they handle challenges. So some people are more goal-oriented, more direct, while for others it's much more important that there is harmony in their environment and that they are in equilibrium and balance with others. Some act very spontaneously, I would call it. They are almost like cowboys, and others think things through thoroughly, carefully weighing what it means, what they need. We call these individual patterns, or the conglomerate of them, personality styles. These personality styles essentially determine how we perceive the world, how we react to our environment and interact with others. What exactly does that mean? What exactly is a personality style? We have to imagine it like a continuum from off-white to pitch black. And on this continuum, if we think from off-white to medium grey approximately, we are talking about personality style from dark grey to pitch black. On the continuum, we would be talking about a disorder. That means I also use disorder terms later on, but I always mean it only as one. Style as a personality accentuation. So a personality style is therefore not really a fixed label and also not a real diagnosis. It describes the person. It rather describes how a person thinks, feels, in which behaviors the person is, and how they quasi show or act in different situations. There are quite different personality styles. Some people act in a particularly analytically structured way, are spontaneous and flexible, while others are more cautious, weigh things very carefully, and may have concerns with some decisions. Others in turn want to be the center of attention, which is especially important for them. Others in turn take the lead, promote collaboration, and focus on others or on doing something good for others. These differences always have advantages, or each personality style has positive aspects, and each personality style also has challenges. So there is no good or bad in it, but rather it is just a description. Personality styles can help us to solve tasks in a certain way, sometimes very efficiently, sometimes unfortunately not. Or in certain situations they can lead to tension because we kind of trigger other people with our behavior. Now the question remains, why should one even concern themselves with personality goals? The answer would be, from my perspective, because our personality style naturally not only concerns ourselves, but also always the environment, essentially our interaction. Particularly pronounced styles, those in the mid to dark grey area, can lead to unexpected challenges in interpersonal relationships or bring them about. That means we trigger others with them. Whoever knows their own style can act much more consciously. And then one can basically also recognize where their own style is helpful and where one might sometimes create possible tension through their style. And sometimes one can also engage in early prevention and carefully consider if they want to behave that way and if they are ready to, so to speak, pay the costs for their behavior. The intangible costs like tension, do I want to create those? Or do I not want that? This means that knowledge about our personality style helps us to regulate ourselves, always provided, of course, that we want to. And of course, it's not always just about one's own style. When we have knowledge about personality styles, we also know quite a bit about other people. That means we can understand other people's ways of thinking and acting much better. We also understand much better how we might better integrate other people and also trigger less without them consciously noticing it. We can practically influence decisions, we can consciously guide conversations, meant in a positive sense, not in the sense of exploitation. And we can very consciously also set unspoken expectations and thereby consciously and deliberately guide and control. Those who understand such mechanisms can, of course, better adapt to them and to others, can act much more consciously instead of reacting unconsciously and being surprised by their behavior, and can naturally make their own decisions in a much more self-determined way. In the upcoming episodes, we will introduce various personality styles. We will always focus on the typical characteristics, the strengths, basically on the positive aspects and also the challenges that each style brings, especially the more pronounced it is. And maybe you recognize yourself in one of these personality styles. And maybe you discover why you with certain people especially get along very well and maybe not so much with others. Because those who know their personality style better can act more consciously, use their strengths, interact much better and more deliberately with others, and thereby consciously and positively shape relationships.